Looking south from the downtown cam, Fargo, North Dakota. On this Tuesday, very gray out there again today. We've had some light snow falling this morning. That's going to be ending if it hasn't already, but the winds are going to pick up. We'll have lots of drifting snow, anywhere from 15 to 30 miles an hour today. So not the nicest of days with highs only in the mid-20s. Good morning. Welcome to InforumTV. I'm Robin Hubner. Thanks for being here. Here's what's happening this morning. The debate over whether to make same-sex marriage legal is playing out in the Minnesota legislature today with passionate debate. Supporters and opponents went one by one this morning before the House Civil Law Committee, which plans to act on the legislation later in the day. A Senate committee is also planning a vote, but a final vote on the marriage bills could be months away. Last fall, Minnesota voters rejected a constitutional amendment that would have permanently barred gay marriage. Well, high-risk sex offender is living in Crookston, Minnesota. Originally from Boston, Dean Johnson served 18 months in prison on 16 child pornography charges. He was released Monday. Johnson will be living at the Corrections Center in Crookston until he finds a job and some housing. He's the first high-risk offender to move there since Drew Shadeen's convicted killer, Alfonso Rodriguez Jr., 10 years ago.
This is different. This person has a different history of offense and pattern of offense, and it seems to be, the response seems to be a little lower key.
That was Lieutenant Gene Wisnes from the Crookston Police Department. He says Johnson will be under strict supervision for the next 3 years and is not allowed to be in contact with minors. A lawsuit over the future of Fargo Morehead's only toll bridge is likely following a Morehead City Council vote last night. Council members voted to deny the privately run bridge company a 5-year contract extension. In the same motion, they voted to have city officials negotiate a buyout price with the bridge owners and pursue legal action if a price can't be agreed upon. Now, by denying that extension, Morehead is trying to end a 25-year contract with Bridge Company that runs out June 1st. A Morehead man and his grandson have quite the war story to tell. Even though it's from World War II, a new chapter has been written in the life of Private Gordon Strom. Here's WDAY 6 reporter Kevin Walvand.
Gordon Strom was just 19 when he died. Fresh out of Morehead High School and briefly at NDSU, he was one of the 3 Strom brothers who served in World War II. Gordon was the baby.
When we went in, we never did think that Gordon would ever get in because he seemed so much younger, but the war lasted too long.
Gordon would be serving with the Army, fighting the Germans.
An 88 shell was the one that dropped into the foxhole of my brother.
March of 1945.
One of them lived for a few hours, but Gordon was killed instantly.
Shortly after his death, Gordon's parents would get a letter from his fellow soldiers.
The corporal
talking of his bravery.
He often took chances that he probably wouldn't have had to take because Gordon had told him that he didn't think he'd ever survive the war, and he didn't.
Arnold and his brother Glenn would learn of their brother's death.
I found out by mail.
Weeks after he died. They would stay in the war.
Get the first letter, and you find out why. It's pretty tough right then.
But then recently, Gordon's brother Arnold, now 90 and still living in Morehead, will get a phone call from Germany.
I said, no, I think I'll pass on this one, and I hung up.
You thought it was a joke?
Yeah.
Someone saying they had found Gordon's bracelet buried in an old foxhole in Germany.
I kind of dropped it because I didn't think it was true.
Arnold couldn't believe it, but his grandson was curious. Nick Pladsen was able to get back in touch with the German family. And soon the bracelet would arrive in Morehead, back in the hands of Gordon's family.
I thought, is this real? Well, for all these years.
Arnold is the only one alive now. His 2 fellow veteran brothers gone. The bracelet is a piece of that past. The baby brother who went off to war, now forever remembered.
It's a good memento.
Private First Class Gordon Strom died fighting for his country, coming home from the war a teenager who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Kevin Walvand, WDAY 6 News.
Now, Arnold would like to give the bracelet to his grandson, who did a lot of work to make the connection with the family in Germany that found it. Let's get the latest on our weather now from WDAY Storm Tracker meteorologist Daryl Richardson. Daryl.
Hello everyone. Still some lingering snow early this morning. Accumulations as expected, generally under 1 inch. This activity will be pushing on out, may even see a few peaks of the sun this afternoon. So snow will be gradually ending. A couple of things about today. Of course, a little coating of snow. I would say the average is probably between 1/4 and 3/4 of an inch, just enough to put a little snow on the roads. Plus the wind's going to pick up today, so there will be some drifting and a little bit of blowing snow with that, so the roads will probably be in tough shape most of the day. Tonight that wind will diminish, in fact, becoming pretty light after midnight, but put 5 to 15 down and still probably be near that 15 this evening. But notice, flirting with 0 again tonight, a cold night. There's my storm tracker 7-day forecast. And another snow system Wednesday night, that looks like this morning's accumulation's pretty light. And then Friday's looks to have a little bit more potential, plus Friday also will probably come with some wind. It may be March, but sadly dealing with lots of January temperatures and weather this week. Definitely winter for another week. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Daryl Richardson. Hope you're having a great Tuesday.
All right, thanks, Daryl. Well, we are just 20 days away from the Twins home opener, and at Target Field, we're seeing a sign of spring, even though there's no sign of spring anywhere else. The infield was uncovered for crews to take a look at how the grass fared this winter, and from all appearances, not too bad. Crews had to clear snow off the field and then haul it out of the stadium. The heat has been cranked up under the field, so the ground below stays at 55 degrees. Hopefully things will warm up and feel like baseball weather before not too long. Check out today's forum to learn about North Dakota's heavy Twitter hitters, how individuals and businesses are using Twitter to their advantage. And coming up tonight on WDAY 6 News, you click away on Facebook liking this and that page, but what you like says a lot more about you than you realize. That's coming up tonight on WDAY 6 News. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Inforum TV. We'll see you next hour for the latest on what's going on in Fargo, Morehead, and beyond.